At Halloween, I like to remind you that although it's populated by robots, the world of the Transformers is no stranger to spooks, spectres, and things that go bump in the night. This year, we're going to look at perhaps the most famous. These are the basics on STARSCREAM'S Ghost. The story of STARSCREAM'S Ghost began in 1986's The Transformers the Movie. After 2 seasons of TV spent scheming to overthrow Megatron as Decepticon leader, the movie saw the treacherous Starscream finally achieve his goal when he dumped the wounded Megatron into space and crowned himself the new ruler. But his moment of glory didn't last long. Megatron was found by the monster planet Unicron and reformatted into Galvatron, who returned to Cybertron in the midst of Starscream's coronation, and with a single blast, reduced Starscream to a pile of ashes. Now, Starscream was just one of many characters who died in the movie, but unlike the film's other casualties, Starscream's toy wasn't being discontinued. And since it was still on shelves in 1986, the upcoming 3rd season of the Transformers cartoon was going to have to promote it, which meant that somehow Starscream was going to have to return from the dead. Starscream rose from his grave in the 3rd season episode Starscream's Ghost, in which Decepticon wheeler-dealer Octane found his restless spirit haunting a crypt on Cybertron. Joining forces with Octane to get revenge on Galvatron, Starscream's ghost possessed the body of Decepticon's second-in-command Cyclonus and lured Galvatron into a trap. But Galvatron survived, and Starscream fled Cyclonus's body to escape his wrath. The story continued into Ghost in the Machine, in which Starscream made a bargain with Unicron. The monster planet had been reduced to a disembodied head after the events of the movie, and agreed to use his powers to restore Starscream's body if Starscream helped to turn Cybertron into a new body for Unicron. Starscream played along, possessing various Transformers to complete the tasks Unicron set him until his body was at last restored, whereupon, true to form, he immediately betrayed Unicron and refused to hold up his end of the deal. A moment later, explosives the Autobots had planted to dispatch Unicron's head detonated, and Starscream was last seen being hurled off into the depths of space by the blast. Starscream's ghost made one other appearance in the 80s, in the manga published in Japan's TV magazine, set between the 2 episodes. In this story, he possessed Giltor, a super-powerful drone created by the alien Quintessons, but was defeated by Galvatron and Rodimus Prime. Though the cartoon had ended with Starscream regaining his body, a decade later, Starscream's ghost made an unexpected return in the Beast Wars cartoon, in the 1997 episode Possession. This series saw Starscream's spirit, untethered from the mortal realm, and thus from the flow of space and time itself, drift back through the ages to prehistoric Earth, where 2 groups of time-traveling Transformers from the future, the Maximals and Predacons, were at war. Possessing the Predacon Waspinator, Starscream conspired with Black Arachnia to destroy Predacon leader Megatron and take command. But when the pair were attacked by the Maximals, Starscream abandoned his new partner, and Black Arachnia repaid him by setting off an energon explosion that blasted his spirit back into space. The original cartoon never gave a reason for why Starscream became a ghost when no other dead Transformers ever did, but Beast Wars offered an explanation, revealing that he possessed a mutant indestructible spark. Though his body could be destroyed, his life force couldn't be extinguished. Maximal authorities on Cybertron had even attempted to artificially replicate this mutation, inadvertently resulting in the creation of the insane, indestructible serial killer, Rampage. The reintroduction of Starscream's ghost in Beast Wars helped turn the concept into a recurring element of Transformers lore in the 21st century. In 2001, A ghost version of the original Starscream toy, cast in translucent plastic, was released through Japanese online retailer eHobby, and many more such ghostly figures have since been sold in various different toy lines. Starscream's ghost has also made multiple appearances in media, and while to date none of these new stories have ever actually explained how he became a ghost again, they've followed the precedent set by Beast Wars to depict him hopscotching up and down the timeline, and even across dimensions, possessing Transformers, machines, humans, and more in a constant quest to acquire a new body and greater power. Notable stories and toys have included a 2006 crossover between the 15 Go Go manga and the Kiss Players radio drama, in which Starscream possessed humanoid computer Teletran 15 and human Atari Hitatonari as part of an attempt to get his old ally Dr. Arkeville to build him a new body, which inspired a possessed recolor of the Atari figurine the following year. A ghostly recolor of the classic Starscream figure released through Million Publishing in 2009, accompanied by a manga that saw him hop dimensions into the world of the Henkei Henkei toy line, and a figure in the high-end collector-targeted Masterpiece line in 2010. This figure came with a comic that revealed more about exactly how Starscream became a ghost in the first place, telling the story of how, upon his destruction, his undying spirit had been trapped in the limbo between life and death. There, he met the spirits of other deceased versions of himself from other dimensions, and they worked together to create a crystal that allowed them to return to the living world as a ghost. In 2016, the Unite Warriors toy line turned Starscream's ghost into a combiner when Unicron partially restored him to a half-physical form so he could merge with other resurrected Decepticons to form the giant robot Grand Galvatron. This meant he lost his power of possession, but in 2017 he acquired a new way to take over the bodies of others when the Transformers Legends toy line turned him into a Headmaster, a small robot able to convert into a head which could connect to and control other Transformers bodies, packaged with his old co-conspirator, Octane. In addition to these and other stories based on the original cartoon, various other series have also put their own unique spin on the concept of Starscream's ghost, most notably 2004's Transformers Energon. In this universe, Starscream was destroyed by Unicron in 2002's Transformers Armada. But sequel series Energon saw the alien Alpha Quintesson use Unicron's power to bring him back to life, only for Alpha Q to run out of energy halfway through the process, leaving Starscream in an incomplete, immaterial state, ghosting in and out of corporeal existence. 2007's Transformers Animated paid homage to the concept of an undying Starscream by having a shard of the life-giving Allspark become embedded in Starscream's head after he was killed by Megatron, bringing him back to life and rendering him immortal. In 2016's Prime Wars trilogy, Starscream died after attempting to control the mystical Enigma of Combination, but his spirit was captured by the fallen Prime, Megatronus, and used to reanimate the Decepticon Titan, Trypticon. And of course, when the Transformers had a comic book crossover with the Ghostbusters in 2019, there was no way the most famous ghost in the franchise wasn't going to show up. Just one of multiple Decepticons transformed into electric spectres by the alien energy being Kremzeek and made to serve him. The most recent figure of the undead Starscream was released in 2022 in Super 7's Ultimates line. Continued evidence that while some Transformers live and some Transformers die, Starscream's ghost is eternal. And those are the Halloween basics on Starscream's ghost. If you've enjoyed this look at Transformers history and lore, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss an even bigger horror story next episode, as we look at the rise and fall of Dreamwave Productions.